Hello and welcome, my name's Steve Woody, and in this video series I'm going to talk to you about the game Forever Skies. This is an early access game, so it's not complete, but it is a new type of survival action game. It's based in a post-apocalyptic world, and it's a resource gathering, base building, survival game, first person. And it's different, I like it. It's not very long at the moment in terms of the story, but there is content that is being pushed out by the developers, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But I wanted to create this guide and this video series for new players. One, if you're thinking about the game, you can see it first, and two, if you're playing the game and you need a little bit of help just to get you through those first few stages. So this is going to be about 5 or 6 parts in this video. We're going to start at the absolute basics, and we're going to progress all the way through to having an advanced ship with everything that we can currently do in the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to start. We're going to click play, and then we're going to choose a save slot. I'm just going to pick an empty slot here, and we get to choose the difficulty level. Now, easy is very, very easy, and obviously permadeath is a lot harder. Depending on where you are, I'm going to go for normal, because I think this is a good game mode to go through. I think easy is too easy, and hard for some people is going to be too hard. So normal is a good place to start. This means that your food and drink bars are going to decrease at a normal rate, and if you die, you're going to lose 20% of your basic resources. I think this is absolutely fine, so I would recommend normal for this run through, and you can always come back and change this later if you want to play a different version. It's easy enough to do, but it's a good place to start. There will be no other end of the world. So this cutscene, I'm just going to let you enjoy it. Okay, so basically we have been exploring, we've been on an adventure, we've come back to Earth, and a lot's happened. There's been, as we can see, an apocalypse, and now we've landed in what is Earth, but not the version that we remember. So now our capsule has landed, we can come and read these tablets. You're going to see a lot of these throughout the game. W, A, S and D is to move forward, backwards, left and right, and you can use the mouse to look around. And at the moment we're just in our escape pod. There's not really much to do. Now we can't stay in here for too long because we have to move, but what I want to do for the purpose of this video is just show you the HUD, the heads up display. At the very top you can see we have a compass that allows you to navigate. In the bottom left we have our status, which is our energy, including our stamina. We also have our, and that's fatigue, so when that gets low you'll need to sleep. We have our health bar, when that gets to 0 you die. We have our food, so what you need to eat to stop you getting hungry, and we have our water, you need to drink to make sure you're thirst. So thirst, food, health and energy, and the 4 of those combined gives us our circle on the left hand side, which is our overall health. So you want to make sure if any of these are falling into the yellow that you keep an eye on them, and if they fall into the red you definitely need to deal with them. The lower they fall, the more susceptible to viruses and damage and things you are. So we'll talk about that later in the game. At the bottom of the screen we can see our hotkey. This is our inventory. If we press I, we'll open up our inventory. This is our backpack. We also have an oxygen tank, and we can move anything from here into the hotbar. Not the oxygen tank we can't, but other items. And then the keys, the number keys 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 will allow you to quick select these. As well as the inventory, whilst we're in the menu, we have a to-do list. There's nothing here yet. We have blueprints. There's nothing here yet. And we have a database, but there is nothing here yet. So we can press tab to come out of this, and we're just going to pick up this and read it. Okay, so now we have our database is started to populate, and the first message we have in documentation is a lost expedition, broken signal. Sagittarius 2 went silent for months, then this one signal, and then silent again. None of us know what awaits you there, but if there is a chance that they have found the virus, then maybe we can survive. Find the virus sample at all costs. The fate of us depends on you, the Ark. So basically, the world as we know it has been plagued with a virus, and we need to find a cure. So we're going to take this first aid kit. There are 2 keys that you can use to interact. The first is you can press, the second is you can hold. If I hold the E key, you'll see around the the letter here, you'll see a bar and it will start to fill up. When that completes, you'll complete the action. We do not want to consume the first aid kit at the moment. We have full health, so we're just going to press it to take it. This is now in our inventory and we can see it here. We can not move this into the hotkey. It has to stay here. If we want to use it, we just right click it. If we want to move it, we left click it. And if we have more than one, we can split it by holding control and left click to move. So we're going to leave the first aid kit there, and we're now going to exit. There is nothing else to do within here. Again, the same thing. If I press the button, nothing happens because the door is locked. I need to use the emergency escape, which means I need to press and hold E. The doors blow off and we can now exit. So now we have a new task. We can see that in the top right. Also on the top left, it shows us our to-do. We're just going to have a quick look around. And one thing you need to be aware of in this game is fall damage. It's the most common way to die in this game at the moment. And so don't fall off the edge. You can, and you shouldn't. Fall damage is something you need to be aware of. So just be aware of that. And before we progress, we're just going to press the tab key. And we're going to look at our to-do list. And now it says return to planet Earth, locate the source of the transmission. So that's what we currently need to do. So we're going to move forward here. Again, making sure you do not fall down these gaps. It's very easy to do. And the game is very good at giving you the introduction.
Check the database for details.
Okay, so now it tells us our health parameters are low. So check the database. So we're going to press tab. And we can click the database. And now we know knowledge, health parameters. So here we have our immunity circle that we talked about, our fatigue bar, we have our health bar, we have our hunger and thirst bar that we talked about. So this just gives you that information. Also under items, in remains, we have our first aid kit, effects plus 40 health. So this is kind of a database to give you everything you've learned about the game. Now before we go up these stairs, we're just going to go under these stairs and we're going to walk up, and you'll see anything that you can interact with will have a blue highlight around it. And we can take it simply by pressing the E key. So these are machine parts. We're going to take these basic resources. We're going to need a lot of these. And in the early stage of scavenging, we're just going to take everything we can. You cannot take these. Not yet. So we're going to leave those. We're going to go up the stairs. Okay, so we now have machine parts. We're going to walk up to this door and we're going to try and open the door. But it's going to tell us that we can't open the door because the door is locked. So instead, we're going to come back around here into this door. So we cannot go this way yet. Now if we look at this door and we look above it, you're going to see this orange cable. Now this orange cable goes into this room. And if we come into this room, you're going to see here that this says it requires a solid state battery. There's also an orange cable that goes to this laptop. And if we try and use the laptop, it needs power. These orange cables, they tell you kind of what it does. So if I put a battery in here, it's going to power the laptop and it's going to power that door. So that's the next thing I need to do. I need to power the computer. It also says I need to satisfy my hunger. So we're going to look around. We're going to open everything we can and we're going to take everything we can. So we're going to look around to the left here. Just making sure there's nothing to pick up. Anything there is, we're going to grab. I'm going to keep moving, keep moving. We can open this, take this. And we're going to see another data pad. So we're going to read this. More resources here. These are machine parts. Parts of a small disassembled machine. And also we've got another message here. Everything's been screwed up since we found that damn virus. We're all getting sick. Equipment is breaking down. And then there's this Noah situation. The power blew out again and the door is locked. I'll check if the beacon tower has a compatible battery. So it's telling you need to look in the beacon tower. So we're going to keep looking around. We're going to take the water. Open this. Nothing in there. Okay, so as we look around, confident that we picked everything up, we're going to start moving upstairs. There's nothing else to do here. So now we're just going to move upstairs. As we get upstairs, you can move through here and you can see a sun melon. Now we could consume this, but we're not going to just yet. There's a poor dead person here. He didn't make it. There's another sun melon here. There's two of them. We're going to take that. But we're not going to eat them just yet. Instead, we're going to jump over here. And this is a beacon tower. Now, at the top of the beacon tower, you'll see a flashing light. This will become apparent later. Flashing lights is how you'll navigate to different places. And if I open up the beacon tower, there will be a battery inside. If I take the battery out, the light now goes off. this is something that will become important. You'll understand that if there is no flashing light, it's normally because you've been there. And it's a way for you to be able to tell where you've been. So now we're going to come back. There's nothing else to do up here at the moment, so we're going to come back down. Come down the stairs. Being careful not to fall off. We're going to come back to that area where we started here, and we're going to insert the battery.
New radio message.
Okay, so now we've done that. We can now click on the computer, and we have an undelivered message. We are down under the dust. We found the lab where they first analysed the virus 400 years ago. That's where it all started to go to hell. Noah went crazy. That bastard stole the sample, our airship, and broke the radio. He just left us here to die. He's dangerous as hell, as all hell. The location of the sample is at the overgrown greenhouse. A scientist lived there who studied flora from under the dust. If you want to get there, try visiting some radio towers and wind farms to get necessary devices. Now, as you start to understand this game, it's procedurally generated, you'll realise radio towers are one location, wind farms are another location. And there's an abundance of these in the map, so you're going to be able to see these later. Be careful, the world no longer wants us. It's not a place for humans anymore. Alright, so we can also see in resources under technical, we've got a solid state battery. So we can see that this is a battery that powers less energy demanding devices. We can also see under organic, we have a sun melon. This will give us plus 10 food, plus 5 water, but minus 10 health. Also, there is a threat. We will get a photophobia virus. Okay, and in items and remains, we can see we have old canned water, which gives us plus 25 water. So we can open up our menu. We don't want to do anything at the moment. We can see we have machine parts, we have water. We can drink the water right now. This is plus 25 water, so this is going to fix our thirst. And again, we could eat this to get food, but we're not going to do that just now. But if you look at it, you hover over it, you'll see there's actually a timer. This is a decay timer. It says 13 hours. In 13 hours, this will become rotten food. And we will lose a lot of properties from this. So just be aware of that. Keep an eye on your timers. But we're not going to take those just yet. We're going to continue. So to-do list, it does say satisfy your hunger. Okay, and find a way to depart the location. Right, so we're going to come out. And we go through here. This door, which was locked before, but now it's open. As we come through here, there's some more stuff that we can pick up. Open up this, another first aid kit. Come into here, there's another poor dead body. In here, there's another message. Noah's madness. It's all because of this damn dust. Noah heard voices. He was mumbling about nature, surviving everything, even the fall of the world. He said he knew what to do so we could return to Earth again. He wanted us to help him, to follow the voices in his head, the lunatic. We locked him in a cell for his own good, but the bastard hid the extractor and run off while everyone else was asleep. Okay. So here we're going to walk around, there's some more water, and now we also have this old food ration. So now we've got the old food ration, we can eat this. This is going to give us 25 food, but it's not going to give us any of the downside. We can look into the database, look into items, remains. We can see we have an old food ration, non-spoiling, still edible food, plus 25 food. So what we're going to do is we're going to eat this, and we've now satisfied our hunger. Now we need to find a way to depart the location. So we're going to come out. There's nothing else to do here but go upstairs. We're going to take this machine part. We're going to go upstairs. Again, be careful because you can fall through here. And so you want to be careful, but there is a way to take that machine part while we're here. Just be careful because part of this game is about being able to fall and being able to die. So always be careful where you're walking. And now we're going to come up to here. Okay, so now we are here. There are 3 things for us to look at. One is our airship. We can see the blimp. We can also see the airship. There are 2 modules. There's a cockpit module at the front and a main body. There's also these catwalks on either side. And we'll talk about this in a moment. We're going to come back to this. So this is our airship. There's also this section over here. We can't do anything over here at the moment. And there is this section over here. Okay, and then we can go back down. So quite easy to see. There's just 3 things to interact with. We're going to walk over here and we're going to pick up this empty bottle. We now have an empty bottle. We can bottle dirty water or we can drink the dirty water. Now, I do not recommend drinking it, but we are going to press E to bottle it. These containers will give you free dirty water. We now have this, which will give us plus 20 water, but minus 10 health. So we're going to go into this room, and we're going to look around. We're going to start on the right, take the machine part, come over here. There's some more food. There is a condenser membrane. There is a simple insect lure, and there is a new data pad. My research on the photophobia virus has shown that it can be cured with lectin. This is best found in dust moths and other things living in a dust layer. I prepared a lure to attract these objects, use it with the insect catcher on the airship, lower it into the dust and wait for the catch. The food from this world, eaten raw, may be harmful. I'll leave a membrane for the water condenser just in case some water will be needed to cook the food. Okay, so now we understand that we need to catch our food and we need to cook it. And we know that's going to require water. So in technology, fuel and accessories, we can see we now have a condenser membrane. We have a simple insect lure. And under resources, in fluids, we have dirty water. Again, water contaminated with dust particles, harmful, drink only in case of extreme necessity. So we're not going to drink that at the moment. We're going to continue walking around. We're going to open this. Just check everything to see if there's anything in here. Come through to this side, another first aid kit. On this side, we're going to take these machine parts. We're going to duck down under this. Now, control is duck, but I've actually put it as C. Makes more sense to me. Take the machine parts, take the old canned water, and we're going to drink. We're going to use the old food ration, and we're going to drink the old canned water. Okay, you can keep hold of these, it's fine, but you don't really need to. Now we have fixed our food and our water for now, and you can see we are healthy again. We're also going to keep an eye on these. They've got 8 hours to go. That's fine. We don't need them right now. We can climb this ladder. Walk up to the ladder, press E to use it, and we're going to go upstairs. Once upstairs, we can go in front of us and we can get some more water. Now our bottle will only hold 5 at the moment, so we're going to leave this. Take this, but again, be careful, do not fall, you will die. Okay, we can see where we come from. We come all the way up here, up round to here, into this room, round to here, and now the only thing left up here are these water catchers, and there's 4 of them in total. These 3 and the one behind us. I'm not going to go back down the ladder, I'm simply just going to walk off the edge here, it's fine. You can fall from here, that's not a problem. So that's the first part dealt with. We're now going to come over here to this second part. We're going to collect these. But we cannot get through here. It's blocked. In order to do that, we're going to read this tablet. There's also a transformer here. We're going to collect that. And we're going to read this. And it says, Airship to-do list. I've been building a new airship for 2 months since that bastard Noah got away with our equipment. If only my workshop hadn't collapsed, I would have already had the airship engine research completed. So you can see he has placed the rudder, but has not placed the fabricator, crafted a deck extractor, extracted the wall blocking the workshop, and need to get the research station. Expand the airship. Not yet. Needs resources from further locations. Okay, so we know what we need to do. Under technical, we've got a transformer now, so this is a craftable element used to produce advanced devices. So we don't need that just yet. But we do need this fabricator. So find a way to depart the location and finish building the airship. We're going to take the fabricator. And now we can place it. It's because it's in our hotbar, so we can press number 1 to hide it, or press number 1 to bring it back out and place it. But it says place on your airship. So what we're going to do is turn around, go onto our airship, and as you can see there are 2 modules. Now if I press 1 to bring it out, it cannot be placed outside, it has to be placed inside, and we have very, very limited space to start with. So I'm just going to place it right here for now, against the wall. You can do what you want, but to place, just left click. We can press R to rotate, to move around using the mouse. And we can also toggle on or off snapping with the right click. We're just going to place it here. This is a good place to put it. And here we go, we have a fabricator. We now have a lot of new blueprints, which we can now see. We also have this rudder. We can pick things up if we want to. So we can hold Q to pick something up. And we can move it and place it somewhere else. But for now, we're just going to leave that there. We can do the same with this. We can pick it up and move it if we need to. Again, hold down Q. And we can move things around. So don't worry if you place something you don't like it. You can simply move it. But for now, I would leave this here. So this is our basic fabricator. This is our water catcher. And this is our insect lure. So we talked about this before. We can open up the lure container by clicking E, and we have a simple insect lure that we can place inside.
Immunity is decreasing.
Now we can hold to lower the lure. This will now fish for food. During this time, whilst this is working, it takes 20 to 30 seconds with a basic lure, and it will work for 3 catches. So we're going to let that do its job, and we're just going to watch it, because once it's ready, you'll know. It will give you a notification.
Decreasing.
You'll also hear it. So we're just going to watch it, and we're just going to wait. And we're hungry, so we really need this food. There it is. And so the insect catcher has now lured something. Okay, so to raise the lure, we just press and hold, and it will pick it up. And we're going to get one of 3 things. We're either going to get a dust moth, we're going to get a fat dust moth, or we're going to get a dust lettuce. Those are the 3 things we're going to get. So we're going to take the fat dust moth, and we're then simply going to lower the lure and send it back down again. Okay, so now we have a fat dust moth. Okay, if we go to our database, we look at nature, fauna, fat dust moth. It will give us plus 25 food, minus 5 water, minus 10 health. It is edible, and it has these nutrients, which we know this is what will fix our virus. We also have some new technology, which is our airship device. We have the fabricator, which crafts basic tools and devices. Okay, so now we have another one. We're going to raise the lure, and this time we've picked up a normal dust moth. So we're going to take that, and we're going to lower the lure again. Okay, so now we can eat these sun melons. If we right click to eat a sun melon, we have now got a virus. The virus is photophobia. Okay, and we can cure that by eating a dust moth. So we're just going to eat a dust moth, and we've now cured the virus. So look, we've managed to check the we're going to check the database entry now, but by doing this we've managed to create a virus, and we've managed to heal the virus. And it says that cooked food is better. So we need to learn how to cook our food. And there we go, we've got another dust moth. Okay, now we have no lure. The lure has been worn out. So now if we wanted to, we'd have to go to the basic fabricator to craft more. So here in tools we can make a deck extractor. Under water we can make a water purifier. Under food we can make a simple insect lure, an insect catcher which we already have, or an electric cooker. And under interior we can make a bed. So we'll come back to this in a minute. Before we go too far, I just want to press tab, look at our to-do list. So we've already cured the photophobia virus, we've just done that. Okay, now we're going to go to database, look at nature, fauna, dust moth, and now it tells us everything we need to know about this. And also we have viruses, photophobia. Looking directly into the sun can cause visual disturbance and injuries. We know how to fix it, we know what the medicine is, we know what the cause is. And so as you progress through the game, there's going to be a lot more advanced viruses, ways that you can research things and deal with things. You can obtain viruses to be able to then analyze them later. There's a lot that we can do. But for now, that is how we will deal with the food process in this game. Also, we picked up a condenser membrane, which we can add here. And this will now start to filter the dust in the air and turn it into dirty water. Okay. So we've kind of done everything we can do here. It now tells us we need to craft the deck extractor. So we're going to click on this, click on our tools, and this is going to weigh 15 kilograms. It's placed on a floor outside. It requires 5 machine parts and 1 transformer, which we just so happen to have. So now we're going to 3D print it. We're going to wait whilst that prints. Once it's completed, we can take it, and now we can place it. But we can't place it inside, so we're going to place it outside, and we can place it wherever we want, but we're going to place it just in the middle here of these 2 sections. Okay? The reason we're going to do this is if we use it, it now gives us a 180-degree arc. Okay, so looking around our surroundings, we can see these floaty balls. Okay, we can also see these other ones here. If I press and harvest this, this will give us 5 synthetics. If I do this one, this will give us 5 metal. Okay, so we can get metal and we can get synthetics. at the moment, these are the only things that we can acquire through the atmosphere, and they're in abundance. You can see them all over the place, and you can gather them. And so this is your primary way of gathering resources in the game. Synthetics and metal are the two core basic resources, and we could sit here and we could just acquire as many of these as we want, but we're not going to waste time doing this. If you look over the other side where we was, you can see anything that shimmers has the ability to be extracted. So we can take this, another 5 metal. These are synthetic, so this gives us our synthetics. So we can gather these. This panel here we can take, this is more metal. Okay, so now we've got all of this metal. Perfect. This is glass, so we're going to take this. Glass is the third resource, basic resource. Okay, we're going to gather these up here as well. And now we have quite a lot of synthetics, and also we have quite a lot of metal. There's nothing else to take on this side. So now we're going to take these up here. And you will constantly be using this throughout the game, so kind of get used to it, understand how it works. In many games you would chop a tree, then you would craft an axe, and then you would chop down an iron node. This is just a very different take. Instead of trees and wood and iron, we have synthetics and we have metal, and this is how we acquire them. So now we understand that, we can now do the next thing, which we need to extract the obstacle blocking the entrance to the workshop. Now that's done, we can leave this by pressing E, step back. Okay, and we can now go into here. So it says pick up the research station from the workshop. So we need to duck down, come into here, pick up the machine parts that we can see on the floor. On the side here we can pick up some more machine parts, and we can read this tablet. Blueprint research. I managed to repair the research station. There are a few old blueprints preserved on the memory card, but the most important one is the scanner. It is necessary to complete its research and craft it. After that, it should scan certain objects in the world. Okay, so we're going to pick this up, but it does say it needs a battery to run the device. I dug up this old power box from the ruins. There should be some batteries inside. Excellent. So inside here we can see 2 batteries. We're going to take both of those. Okay, and then walking over here, there's nothing else to do but take this research station. So we're going to pick this up. We're going to turn around. We're going to run back. And we need to place this inside our airship. It's quite big and there's nowhere really to put it. So for now, it's kind of just going to live here. There's no right or wrong answer. And you can move stuff later, so you might kind of want it a bit further at the back. Or, again, you can always pick it back up, rotate it. If you're like me and you've got this OCD with things being perfect, you can kind of do that to align things. But for now, main thing is it's down. Now we need to insert a battery into the research station for it to work. We've done that. We picked up 2 of them. And now we can research things. So if we open this up, it tells us we need to research the scanner. Now, the scanner is something we need to do to progress the storyline. But before we continue at this point, I just want to take a moment and look at the other things available. So an empty bottle requires 10 synthetics. We have 94 right now. So we can use 10 synthetics to research the empty bottle, and the battery level will go from 100%. Every time we use it, it will go down. And so what we want to do is make sure we research all of the things that we need. So now we can see, if we research again, okay, if we come back out, you'll be able to see here that there's also a repair patch. And the battery now is at 90%.
Research finalized.
Okay, so now that research has been complete, we can now see machine parts. So rather than finding machine parts, which we can find by looking around, we can also use a machine part to research it. And that way, we no longer need to find them, we now have the ability to print them. And this is how the game works. You start with your basic resources, which is synthetics and metal. And then what we can now do is we have a new blueprint. If we come over to here and we come to the tools, water, we have food, we have interior, and we now have components. So machine parts can be crafted from metal. we can always acquire metal with the deck extractor. So if we look around, we find metal, we grab it, we now have 5 metal. We come into here, and if we have 30 metal, we can make some machine parts. So using the base core materials, we can start to, that's the kind of the progression. Okay, so we're not going to make a tool charger just yet because we do not have the circuit boards and the copper. So we need to make a scanner. We do that by using synthetics and metals. And we're going to research this because it's the next thing we need to do. And now, the battery is down at 70%, but we have researched everything that was available to us. We can also see our statistics are starting to drop. Our food, our water, and our energy. So we don't want to spend too long here. But we do want to now just look at the basic fabricator. So here we have the repair patch. We don't need that right now. With the deck extractor we already have, we can now make a scanner. That will require 1 battery, some machine parts, and some synthetics. And it tells us that's what we need to do. But before we go ahead and do that, I just want to do a couple of other things here. We need water purifier, empty bottle, the simple insect lure, which we can craft, and we can see that with just metals and synthetics. We already have the insect catcher, but we can also make an electric cooker. An electric cooker is going to allow us to eat. Now we know we need food, that's something we need to do. And so what we can do right now is we can create an electric cooker, because we have enough parts to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to craft this. Takes a little while, and once that's finished, we can then place it, and that way if we create a simple lure, we get our food, we can then use the cooker to be able to cook our food. We're going to put this down just here next to the fabricator just for now. Okay, so we have a cooking station, but the cooking station requires water, and we only have dirty water. So we could use dirty water, but you might want to use clean water. I don't think it matters at the moment, but we'll see. So we use the basic fabricator. We're going to make a simple insect lure. That's going to print. Once that's done, we're going to use that here, open up the lure container, put the new lure in, and now we're going to lower the lure. Okay, we're going to go to the cooking station, and remember we caught the dust moth, so we're going to put the dust moth in, and we're going to boil it. Okay, so that is now cooking some food for us. Okay, excellent. Now, we can see our sun tomato has decayed. Remember, it had a decay timer. So now we have rotten food. It's no longer a sun tomato, so it will still give us plus 10 food, but it will give us minus 15 health. So we're going to keep that there with the fat dust moth that we collected. And we're going to raise the lure. And we have another dust moth, so we're going to take that. Okay, so now we know how to cook food, and we can use this to be able to give ourselves healthier food. But what we also need is water, and at the moment all we have is dirty water. So we can use the basic fabricator to create a water purifier. We're going to do that as well. This is now going to print a water purifier, and we can take the dirty water and purify it into clean drinkable water. Okay, so here we go. Now this is contaminated meat. Okay, so we're going to take this. The reason it is contaminated and it will still give us minus 15 health is because we used the dirty water. Okay, so we can cook like that, but we really want to use clean water. So we're going to grab our water purifier and we're going to put it up here, and we're going to add the dirty water, and it's going to start to purify it into clean water. But the problem at the moment is that we only have 1 bottle. So we're now going to craft a second bottle so we can have dirty water and clean water. Okay, now we have these 2 bottles. We have a clean and a dirty one. So let's go and get some more dirty water from over the other side. And I know I can progress the game, but I kind of want to show you this so you understand. So we'll go back, we'll collect the rest of this over here. Remember, there was some here. But there's only a limited amount before we run out, so we can't spend too long here. We will have to go soon. But right now, I just want you to understand the basics of how to survive. And this is how we do it. So we know how to print a lure to get food. And now we know how to filter water. So we're going to bottle up that clean water. So we now have clean water. And we're going to put the dirty water into there. Okay, so now that will do the same thing. It will filter. Perfect. Now we can put the clean water into the cooking station. And now we're going to put another dust moth in here and we're going to boil it again. We're also going to make another water bottle, but we need more synthetics. So now we get back onto our deck extractor and we look for these balls. Gather a few of these balls. We only need a couple of them and we should now have enough. Note we need 25, we have 19, so we need 2 more of these. Grab the metal as well. We're just waiting for these balls. Okay, we need 1 more. There we go, so we now have another one. And we're going to make a 3rd empty water bottle. The reason we're doing that is because 1 water bottle will live inside here. We will have 1 with dirty and 1 with clean water. Okay, so we're going to bottle our clean water. And we can now drink this. So we're going to drink our clean water. And now we've fixed our hydration problem. Okay, and we now have a boiled dust moth. So here are the 2 things that we've managed to cook. A contaminated meal, which if we eat is going to hurt us. And a boiled dust moth, which gives us more food. So now we've fixed our food issue. We can also take our rotten food, which is plus 10 food. We can put that in here and boil it, and it will give us boiled food. Let's go back, grab some more water. And this is everything that you need to survive at the moment. We now know how to make food, and we know how to make water. And don't worry, there is going to be an abundance of this. So as long as you can get through this starting point, and understand, this is just to understand the basic mechanics. Once you understand how this works, it makes life a lot easier. So we add the dirty water, it purifies it. We already have our clean water here. That is cooking. We have our lure. We have another way to make water here if we need to. So if we don't have any water here, we can simply get some synthetics and we can craft a condenser membrane. And so that's everything researched. And everything here is done. The next thing we need to do is make a bed. For that we need more synthetics. So guess what? Out on the deck extractor, I'm going to gather some more resources. We're now starting to understand the basic core loops of the game. Okay, so now we have enough of these. We can now craft a bed. We can also take our food. And this now has removed the negative effects and added plus 5 to the food, so we get plus 15. It's not as good as the plus 40 that we would have got before, but it does allow us to eat and not get hurt. So now we've got good health, good food, good water. Now we're going to put the bed down, and I recommend we place the bed just here, because this is going to give us the ability to sleep. And I can see our energy is quite low, so we can just sleep on the bed. It will repair our energy. It will start to tick down our food and water supply. And we can wake up at any point. You get no bonuses for leaving it, but we're just going to leave it so we're fully recharged. Okay, and now it is nighttime. This is what nighttime looks like. Okay, so now we know how to make food. We know how to make water. We have enough food. We can use the cooking station. We've got water in here still. Put the fat dust moth in and we can boil that. We know we can bottle the clean water, which you can do here. And we also know how to collect dirty water. We can also collect the dirty water from here. And so that's it. We've now got all of our dirty water. Put that into there. There's no more dirty water. So we're going to run out. If we stay here for too long, we will start to dehydrate. So now it's time to make the scanner. We've done everything else. There's nothing else to do here. There's nothing else to do under the water tab. There's nothing else to do under the food tab. We've made the bed and we don't need any machine parts. So let's go ahead and make the scanner. We need for this the battery, the machine parts which we have, and we need 20 synthetics. So back out onto the deck extractor, grabbing these. So basically the wind moves these, and we'll talk about the wind in a moment, but we're trying to find out where the wind is, and we're grabbing a few of these. Okay, The electric cooker is finished. We now have our fat dust moth, which would give us plus 60 food, and we have 3 days to consume it. So we'll leave that down here. We can see we have our basic resources up here. We can see we have more advanced resources here, and then we can see we have food and water. Organise this however you see fit. I'm just going to do it like this. So I've got resources, basics, advanced, food and water, and then anything else. Okay, so now we're going to craft the scanner. So take a moment. So whilst that's crafting and there's nothing else to do, we'll just get some more resources, because we always need resources. And now the scanner has finished. We can pick this up. Okay, and now we have the scanner. So it says now, check the studies menu. So we press tab, and we have on the to-do list, it says check the studies menu, and that is now here. We have a new menu item. So on the scanner, it says here, in the communication facility ruins, which is where we currently are, we are 0%. Also, for the research station, we can see what we've researched and where we currently are. And so, what we want to do right now is on the scanner, it says we want to scan a synthetic cluster. So let's come outside, find this synthetic cluster, and scan it. And now we've got another part of the game. We can also scan the metal. I think that's scanned. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We'll see in a minute. It's not a problem. But yes, that's all that's here at the moment is just metal and synthetics. They're the only 2 things that we can get. So being aware of that and knowing how that works, that's fine. You can also come over here. We can scan this. Okay, this tells us what it is. Yeah, we did. We scanned that, so that's fine. So now if we look at our studies and we look at our scanner, we can see that this is complete. We've done what we needed to do. And in the research station, we can see everything that is here. And so that's fine. We've done everything that we need to do at the moment. So on the to-do list, now we need to research engine and fuel. So come back over to the research station. And now we have a few more things that we can build. Now we can research the water condenser and membrane. It says we need to research engine and fuel to progress the storyline, but I'm just going to research this first. And the reason for this is because we're currently going to run out of water because we don't have any more condenser membranes. But by researching this,
Research finalized.
and then coming across to the fabricator underwater, we don't need a water condenser, we have one, but we can, using synthetics, create the condenser membrane. So now we can create, using synthetics, a lure and a membrane. And that is everything that we need to be able to create water and food. We are now self-sufficient. We have everything that we need here now to be fully self-sufficient. Okay, all we need to do is use the deck extractor to be able to get the synthetics that we need, to be able to create the lure, and also to be able to create the condenser. And now we can eat, we have water, and we know we can sleep. We can live here, but we obviously don't want to do that. We want to move, and in order to do that, we need to finish building our ship. So, whilst everything else is working, our water is okay. In the cooking station, we can add more water into here. We can also drink that. We can bottle this. We can get our lure. We can take our dust moth. We can cook our dust moth. Remember, we can do that. Okay. And also we have this one which we can eat. And this one has 2 days left, so we're going to leave it for now. This is going to give us our bottled, our dirty water, which we can gather. So we now have dirty water. This creates 5 units of dirty water. And after that, you then need to put another one on here. Okay, so that's everything done so far. We've covered everything, and now if we look at the research station, we could create a small box, but we need plastic scraps, and we don't have plastic scraps right now. So this is something we could partly research this. So if I click on this, because we have the metals and the synthetics, if I click on this, these 2 parts are now complete. We can't quite finish it yet. Same with the circuit tool charger. We can't do this yet because we don't have those parts. So the only thing we can do now is the engine and the fuel. So let's go ahead and research engines and fuel. Also, we're going to bottle that dirty water. We're going to add the dirty water. The lure is done. We have our food. So now we have a fat dust moth and a normal one. Okay, so a normal bald dust moth decays quicker and gives us less food than a fat one. We're going to eat this. We have everything now. We're totally full. We have enough resources. All of our bars are good. We're fully self-sufficient. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and use the fabricator, and we have a new section. So the new section here is flight. We can create an engine and we can create fuel. So for an engine we need machine parts, synthetics and metals, and we can see that that is placed outside. It weighs 35 kilograms, but it gives us speed of up to 15 kilometers per hour. Alright, so we're going to craft an engine. Now, looking at our ship, we have to figure out where is this going to go. So we can see we have a cockpit. We can see we also have a box here. The box has 2 doors on it, which we can actually open and close if we get into the right place. So there is a door here and one on the other side. But this has an X, a yellow X. This basically means there is nothing here. No panels have been added. That means if I was to move the research station out of the way, I could jump through into this. I'm exposed. It also means that I can later start to build additional modules, and you'll see this when you build your ship. This is part of the base building. Rather than a traditional on the ground base building game, this is a ship base building game. Alright, so now we have our engine. We're going to take that, and now we need to place the engine on the outside of the airship, and at the moment it's kind of limited as to where you can put it. So if we had a back panel here, we could actually place it on the back like this if we had the panel. Because there's no panel, we can't. We can kind of stick it to the edge if we wanted to, and we can put it there for now. I'm just going to put it, for now, I'm just going to put it here. It doesn't matter where it goes, it just needs to go somewhere. But I'm going to put it here because it's not really going to be too affected by the extractor. And if you don't like where it is, that's absolutely fine. You can just pick it up like everything else, and you can move it. And so you can get it to a place where you're happy with it. Again, I'm going to move it just to here. And now I'm much happier that it's not in my way. I can still do the things I need. Now, in order to move, we need to craft some fuel. And for that, we need some more synthetics. So let's just use this to grab some. Perfect. Now we know we need 20. Okay, so coming into here, it's going to be 10 to be able to craft this, but we want to do 2 lots, so we're going to do it twice. That's 1, and that's 2. We then come to our engine, and we can do it from within the ship. Okay, so we're going to take our 2 lots of fuel, we're going to open up our fuel tank, and we're going to place 100 units into here. We now have fuel inside the fuel tank, and we're now ready to depart the location. And that's it for this video. We've done everything that we need to do. We've built our airship, we've managed to understand the basics of the game, and we know how to survive. So I'd like you to, if you're playing the game, get to this stage. Be confident and understand how things work. Understand all of the items, how they work, how to use them, and I would say before you leave, get to this stage where you've researched everything and where you've crafted everything you can currently craft. Now don't go crazy, you don't need to build multiple cookers or multiple water filters. At the moment that's just not necessary. Just get to this stage so you're here and you're happy. Have a lure, so you've got a lure in there, that's good to have. And have some water ready so you're always prepared. But apart from that, we're going to get ready to leave, and we'll do that in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.